And if you're down for more infotainment, information, and entertainment, like and subscribe in between the lines.
Talking about adversity as well, I feel like adversity, like I always say, is an opportunity to just for you to overcome. And you talked about how you got to have a team in place. Uh, Adversity as well, a good thought process or perspective behind it would be opportunity to rebuild. You know, you might have to start over from ground zero. You might have to start over from, whether it's you getting injured now, you got to go to rehab. Shout out to my brother Lawrence. I just met with him. I seen him today, and he's coming off Achilles injury. Just had surgery on in October, and he's like showing me the scar and talking about when he out of his cast. We actually walked to the park. Me, him, and Success. We walked to the park, and he's like he can't run yet, but he's like he getting the feeling back. He's getting everything back slowly but surely. It's just about being patient. And he said something that we alluded to last episode, and he's like, it's really mental. It's really more mental than anything, because I know it's just a matter of time before I get everything back. But it's just that mental feeling, because I knew when I was playing soccer that could have happened. But now that it's happened, it's like, I guess it's surreal. You always think that it's not going to be you until it's you. And then once it happens, adversity occurs. How are you going to react? And he talked about how some days it's dark, or it's been dark for him, but he been able to lean on others, whether it be his family, whether it's been contact reaching out to me. Let me ask you in regards to your days of adversity, and obviously you got a full-fledged team, but even talking about on the Shannon Sharp aspect, when you had your adversities, did you have anybody where it's like, okay, when you was here, they here with you, and now your adversity happens and they no longer here. You can notice, it's noticeable that the gap gonna widen, or that they gonna try to separate themselves from you.
Oh, absolutely, Vaughn. Back in 2008, I was at Georgia Tech, and I got a DUI, and it was devastating. You at your alma mater, and all of a sudden you got a DUI, and you hit some situations that way. And I remember my dad telling me it was some dark times, it was some embarrassing times. It was a form of adversity, like I was talking about, was a form of adversity that I brought on. Right?
Right.
There's nobody you can point the finger at, but it happens, or it happened. You can't go wallow in the dirt. But I remember my dad telling me, he said, hey, make sure you jot down who's here and who's not. Make sure you jot down who hadn't called. Make sure you jot down when you hear some hearsay and you hear somebody's whispering in the booth in the back in the dark, that you be careful about letting them back in the circle to where they can hurt you again, to where you can, call them and they don't want to have anything to do with you. When you leave a long message and you try to get them to say, I just need somebody to talk to, and they're nowhere to be found. Jot those names down. Jot those people down. Look at that opportunity. Don't look at it with something to say, hey, I'm upset. But you look at it as saying that that person wasn't really there for me.
Right.
That person was there for my success, or what I could do for them or have them do, or part of that. The minute you go through a little bit, they don't want to detach. So absolutely, Vaughn. And dark days, like you said, Lawrence, shout out to Lawrence when you was talking about him. Dark days after the adversity hit is going to come. It's going to be there. And if you don't have somebody that genuinely can tell you and look out for you, and that does not mean that they're going to tell you good things. They're going to happen to say what you don't want to hear in due time. They're going to say, this is all on you. You cannot keep doing this. You're the one that's causing yourself the butt. You're the one that's causing yourself to keep on running in this big time speed bump. You. So that circle during the time of adversity, you also have to have somebody that's going to be in your corner and never leave, but you would want them to leave because they're so tough on you.
Right. A good coach, somebody that's gonna, put force you to get better almost. Force you to
Right.
get better almost. Uh, I think sometimes adversity occurs, whether it be self sabotaging or whether it just be random adversity. But God put us through these situations for us to realize that hey, we was carrying more weight than we needed to. Like alluding to
Mm.
Shannon Sharp, or like alluding to what your example was. It's like, you know, it was folks that you was gonna take them with you to the grave unless they went ahead and got out the car. You was gonna
That's
ride
right.
them, you was gonna ride with them to the grave unless they get out the car and now they don't want to ride with you no more. So now it opens your eyes to be like, okay, I see where I am. We might have to start over from the original destination, but at least it's a lighter trip. Hell, I can go a little further now because I ain't
That's right.
carrying as many
It's a
folks.
lighter trip. It's a
Yeah,
lighter
it's
trip.
a much
Mhm.
lighter trip because I'm not thinking about, oh, I gotta do this for all of these people, because some of them folks gonna went to the next person rather than,
Mhm.
you know, you'll support them if they was doing their own thing, but they'll just jump to the next person that's on rather than the ones that's like, okay, it just, you know, we gonna tighten up our shoestrings and we gonna build this thing together.
That's right.
Like,
That's
so
right.
that's a good perspective to have when adversity hits. And that's great tip by Papa Joe. Hey, just pay attention to who ain't calling. Pay attention to who not texting. Pay attention to that. So when things get back right or when things
When things
get
get back
better,
right.
don't pick up. The same way they weren't picking up and calling you, it ain't no need for you to pick up for them. Like that's just the way that it goes, and that's a part of the game.